I'm back. um, I want to show you this painting that I did before. It's oil canvas. It's a little hard to see. Let me try to move it down. There. So it's a woman with her back facing you. And I thought it would be cool to replicate this because I do have a back condition, and I feel like the art that I've been creating doesn't really have any very deep meaning to it. So I think this would be the perfect opportunity to draw something that's a little deeper. Sorry, drinking something cold. Yeah, so okay, so she starts with like an orangey left side. Again, I need to use the white so that it's not too dark. Yeah, so my back condition is called ankylosing spondylitis, and I think Zach from the Try Guys has this condition. Well, I'm painting like by the side, so it's gonna be hard to gauge. Yeah, and so sometimes with like high inflammation in our back, we tend to get back pains that I really would not want to wish on anybody else. We get back pains, and for me it's to the point where I cannot get full-time work at the moment. So it's something that I need to think about how I want to tackle, because despite the medication, things don't seem to be looking up. Okay, I don't have space for her hair. I might change her hair. Okay. Hey, I'm getting a hang of this. So long as I do things that I'm familiar with first, it shouldn't be too bad. I'm starting to enjoy this process a little bit more. And I do want to make art that I feel is good enough so that I can make it into prints. That would be nice. And she has a wine glass beside her. I think I'm not gonna do the wine glass yet. I don't know. Maybe I'll do the blue on her back first. The thing is, I usually paint with like a big canvas. More white again. So doing tinier pieces of art can be more challenging. It's a different kind of challenging. And I just scraped the tube, so I'm going to have to find tissue for it. Okay, back to the artwork. And I think when I first started drawing women's bodies, it was more like a commentary on how as women we are objectified through our bodies. But now it's more like this back condition. How can I use my art to help people understand? Because some people think it's just normal back pain. It really isn't. With actual acrylics, you can thin it out and layer it that way. But I think acrylic gouache seems to be more opaque. Okay, I think there's no space for her hair to go up, so it has to go down. Okay, I'll just take the leap down. Down. Okay, I could give her like a hairstyle. Like a cool hairstyle. There. That's cool. I like that. Okay, now purple. Purple will be perfect at this point. Usually I try to make my own purples, but I find that it's just a lot easier to have a purple tube, because if you're making purple with red, it sometimes doesn't show. You might need to make it with pink. Okay, I think I need like a pink. There's no pink in the set, so I'm gonna have to make it. It's gonna turn out like a light red. I mean, that's what pink is, right? A light red. Anyways. Yeah, I think maybe my approach to gouache could be just doing stuff that I've done before, just so that I don't feel so dejected if I don't get it right the first time. I'm not really sure if I want to add the arm. Okay, I added it. Okay, that wasn't too bad, I guess. Okay, now I want a really light yellow. It's not light enough, I think. More white again. When this white finishes, I'm gonna be so frustrated if I haven't bought any white. It's such an important color. Okay, so the light yellow. Let's see. Okay, that's slightly better. And then to closer to white. That's looking interesting. I think over the years, I sound so old when I say this. I think over time, I kind of learned to give myself positive self-talk, because honestly, in a place like where I live, Singapore again, I mean, Singapore has many great qualities, but there are times when people are just very negative. I'm not sure if I'll get in trouble for saying this on YouTube, but that's just how it is. Okay, so the hair is blue. The blue dries out so fast. The blue that I want, I mean. I'm feeling like I'm progressing more when I paint the stuff that I'm familiar with. Kinda wanna do darker as it at the corners. Darker at the corners. With hair, people say that you need to use a wet brush so that the streaks are crisp and clear, so you don't get the splotchy white dots if the brush is too dry, I mean. Could I put greenish blue in her hair? Like some yellow. Sometimes colors are not very obvious. They're more subtle. The contrast doesn't have to be too great, you know, depending on what style you're going for. Let me see if this works. I don't know if it will. Usually I tell myself not to give up if I ever feel like giving up in the middle of a painting, because sometimes it takes time, but you know, if you're doing art for quite a while already, you can roughly tell. Yeah. I hope the recording is recording the sound as well, because just because I made the mistake of recording without sound once, and if there's no sound, I'm going to be really sad. Okay. Back to my reference. Okay, her face is pale. Not too pale. Let's do this color first. I'm not very good at underpaintings because once I color it in, I feel like, oh, it's done. Alright, I'm back. My camera was overheating, so that's a bummer. That is a bummer, but I'll figure it out. In the original picture, she's like standing in between two buildings. So maybe I'll just quickly add the buildings. Brown. Tiny bit of black. Just a tiny bit. And go to this corner. And I want the orangey yellow. Actually, no, I want both yellows so I can mix it and make it more interesting. I really like the acrylic gouache by this brand, holbein. Okay, I hope my camera doesn't shut off again. But we'll see. This kind of reminds me of like Japanese street lights. I have my phone by the side. It's kind of hard to do it sideways, but that's just how I'm gonna roll. Should I sell these as prints or should I just sell the original? Since it's on like thin paper. You know what I mean. Alright, time to add the lights. Start with this one. So I'll just go streaky, streaky, streaky. I don't want it to be too exact. I'm one of those people that don't enjoy doing the background first, even though that's the easier way to do it. Yeah. Okay, if my camera shuts off, then it shuts off. Okay. Streaky, streaky. The color difference might not be obvious, but it's there. It's not like a solid yellow box. This kind of reminds me of Japanese temples or something. You could even mix the warm orange with the lemon yellow kind of color. I'm just doing the edge. Not sure if you can see it. Alright, so that's done. I don't really know what else I want to add. I think a wine glass would be cute. I'm thinking, should I put it somewhere else? What if she's like standing in the wine glass? That'd be kind of funny. Okay, maybe we'll do her standing in the wine glass. I just need to develop the wine red. Wine red, wine red. Okay, not the right color for a glass, but that's okay. Oh my god, that is so cute. That is so cute. Okay, it's a bit lopsided because I'm not facing here at the stem. You can't see it, but it's there. Okay. So now I'm gonna make the wine color. I think some of the warm blue will help. Honestly, the reason why I'm so happy to be using these paints is because with oil painting, I can't paint at home, I have to paint at the studio. That costs money, time, effort, so I'm happy that I have this cute setup to paint whatever I want. I need to refer to the... It's kind of funny because I don't really drink alcohol these days. I'm kind of sensitive to alcohol, and for me alcohol is like empty calories, so I try not to as much as possible. Right, I need to add like white to here. So it's not so flat. And what do you think, guys and girls? I think let me think. There's a lot more detail in the original painting, but I don't want to make this exactly the same. Maybe I could, but add a bit more warm tone to the wine. You know, I think I can pause here for now. Alright, I hope you enjoyed the video. I didn't really talk as much, but I hope you enjoyed watching the process. Nevertheless, and I'll see you in the next one.